mercury-free gold processing plants. Mercury-free. I think this we can link this, of course, with the fight against galamsey, because the biggest problem is the chemicals that are used in purifying the gold, and or purifying the mud to get the gold, to get to the gold. And that's what's destroying our water bodies. So these are 100 sets of mercury-free gold processing plants. This was done.
Mercury-free.
Yes.
You know how they call those machines? They call them gold catcher.
Aha.
Gold catcher.
I see.
Because if you go onto 3news.com, you see the pictures. It's like some I don't know, like so Okada gold kind of thing. But this is Pragya gold.
They are not too big.
Yes,
they're just
they have wheels.
They have wheels. So this was done, of course, yesterday at the Independence Square, and these processing equipment are intended to curb environmental pollution and land degradation arising from the wide use of mercury and other harmful chemicals by illegal small-scale miners in the country. Now, the new technology, comprising a crusher, miller, concentrator, and upgrading smelting systems known as gold catcher. You're right on that. The catcher is actually KACHA.
Yeah.
With its operation, will help to eliminate the use of mercury to extract gold from the ore. Okay, so that was the word I was looking for earlier, the ore. Now, also on the front page, in fact, the banner headline is "Fertilizer Sales Hit Lowest Patronage as Prices Shoot Up."
Obviously.
And this story is on page 3. Now, the patronage of fertilizer for this year's planting season is hitting a snag, an all-time low, as farmers are currently having difficulties procuring the commodity for crop production due to rising costs, although there is an appreciable amount of fertilizer in the system, according to the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. High cost of the product is deterring patronage by farmers. The rise in prices can be blamed primarily on two things, as government has kept pointing to the reduction of subsidy from 50% to 15% by government and global events like the Russian-Ukraine war, as both countries export 28% of fertilizers made from nitrogen and phosphorus, as well as potassium.
But you see, we can also add another layer to it. The non-payment of the fertilizer supplying companies in this country by government. Government is owing these fertilizer supplying companies in this country.
Really on a roll with the oil.
Yes, because last year they supplied fertilizer to farmers under the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Government hasn't paid them. They haven't paid them, so they can't supply fertilizer to the PFG
Even the 15%,
farmers.
I don't think they can version. I think they're probably selling it at the regular
That's what's happening.
Price instead of
So the farmers have to go onto the open market to buy fertilizer at the market price.
But the Agri Minister has been urging farmers to go into organic fertilizers, put up compost pits around their farm so that they can produce some organic fertilizers. But also on the same page, alongside this fertilizer sales story on page 3 of the BFT, there's a small portion that says farmers lukewarm attitude to organic fertilizers. Now there are real issues on the ground. Farmers are going through several challenges which must be looked at. Dr. Nyaba has been speaking. Government this year has been proposing organic fertilizer application as a renewed focus for farmers under the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, since the cost of organic is relatively affordable than chemical inputs, but the challenge remains that farmers are still not patronizing the organic inputs, as most of them are not used to organic fertilizer farming. Now, organic fertilizer farming is much more complex, because the chemical compositions are easier to use because you have an instruction manual. You just know how it's mixed, how it's done, because you're taught that, and then that's a go. But with the organic one, you have to literally produce yourself if you're not getting a supplier, a regular supplier, and it's a bit complex in terms of how much you can use.
Indeed.
Even how to formulate it is another thing. It's not just a matter of gathering up all your organic waste and covering it up, and it takes time, for a couple of months, about 3 months, to get it right.
Imagine.
So I think that's where they're hitting the snag with. But I'll encourage that anyway, because that is better farming, that is healthier food, that is food with no chemical residues and so on. So I think the Agri Minister should still encourage that, and farmers should warm up to that idea.
It is a lot more about education.
Yeah. They should warm up to
Educate
that
people.
idea.
You don't give such a directive and then you don't
Just
go out on
leave
the
it there
ground.
and assume that everybody knows what to do.
Obviously.
Because we've been spoiling our farmers with this inorganic NPK, potassium, nitrogen fertilizer that Charlie. Now they just don't have the time to put up a compost pit, but it's important. But there's also something on You Start. 9 banks have partnered with government to finance the youth-led business under You Start. This You Start thing is still, for me, it's just an enigma. It's like an albatross I'm carrying on my neck or
So there's
my
what?
shoulders.
100,000 jobs
Well, that's what they're saying.
with e-levy as the seed funding. Oh yeah, that's. I mean, it's there. It's not really saying
Well, this is on the back page of it. I think it's on the front page of another newspaper that
that I have. Okay.
But so you go into that.
That's in the Business Analyst News Report this morning.
right.
It says 9 banks partner government to support You Start youth-led business to receive 100,000 CDs. A consortium of 9 banks in collaborating. That's an approach that government has put in place to provide credit to existing youth-led companies. You see, existing youth-led companies,
See, the facts are coming out.
and in the process, create 1 million jobs in the next 3 years.
How are we measuring that?
Super question. Under the commercial program of the You Start initiative, government will provide support for existing youth-led businesses with between 100,000 CDs, working capital, and 500,000 CDs for those in need of capital expenditure. Interest rate will not be more than 10%. And you see, there's a fundamental question here. We already have the Venture Capital Trust Fund. Venture Capital Trust Fund, per the constitutional mandate of that institution,
It's meant to do the same
is
thing.
meant to do the same thing.
So what are
Venture
we going on
capital
about?
is now going to Mauritius and London to go and study how they are able to get credit to finance SMEs and startups. Because Mauritius has a very fledgling startup ecosystem,
Right.
same as London, and you can look up Israel as well. They are now going there. So why don't you resource the Venture Capital Trust Fund?
Why start a whole new thing? This is a
To
waste
just
of
do this.
resources. I'm afraid I'm just not moved by this. I think it's. I'm linking it to politics here. I think this
It
is
has to be.
politics because
That's the only way it will make
this
sense
is a
to
way
you.
of rallying around some youth and dishing out some cheap capital. For them to get absorbed.
It's simple. What is
in
the
whole
process? You know that we are dealing with non-performing loans in this country. The last time the Bank of Ghana's economic and financial data, NPLs are going up. People are not paying back their loans.
thing? No, they are unable to.
Because of the current economic situation.
Yeah.
Because interest rates have actually gone up. If you were paying 250 CDs as your interest on a loan you took 2 years ago, it has shot up to about 350 CDs,
Right,
400
100%,
CDs,
yeah.
because of inflation and then also the reference rate that has gone up. And so if we are dealing with NPLs going up and you're going to dole out money, and we know in this country, any program that is giving out money, any political program that gives out money to people,
Hey, you need to be right. Social intervention.
no, it's a political program. You will see that in 2024, it becomes politics. People will say, "We Yamawaska free." The payment of these monies, it is at you and our expense. We will
Look,
not
we
get it
haven't
back.
even tackled those that owe us through Maslow, as it were.
Yo.
We haven't even gone there. And then we're going to start this other one. Now, I mean, there are conditions attached to this You Start money issuing business, political business, as Alfredo puts it. Now, John Ewua, who is president of the Ghana Association of Bankers, said, listing the conditions for accessing the scheme, he said, it was open to existing businesses whose prime movers were youth between ages of 18 and 40. Now, entrepreneurs aged above 40 will have to prove that their employees were SNIT contributors and that 50% of their employees were between 18 and 40.
I see.
Now, they will also have to show that their businesses, when supported, will be profitable and create youth employment.
Okay.
Now, You Start will not fund any business that is into buying and selling.
All right.
Mr. Ewa said, explaining that we don't want to create import-dependent enterprises. He said through the commercial module of the YouStart program, young people with business ideas or those who had started businesses would be trained by professionals at the Banking College, Chartered Institute of Bankers, and other institutions, and beneficiaries who successfully graduate from the training will be assisted to obtain product certification and quality assurance for their products and services to ensure that their businesses conform to standards, regulations, and the laws of their industry. So entrepreneurs will be trained. I mean, for me, it's not a bad idea per se. It's just the sustainability and how these businesses will thrive in this economic environment. That's where the questions are.
We'll see how it pans out. I have a number of stories. I'm just going to run through bits and pieces of it. You have New Jobin outdoors Oti Boateng's successor. Well, the New Jobin Traditional Council has outdoored a new paramount chief to succeed Dasibre Professor Emeritus Oti Boateng, who died last year. He was buried not too long ago, if you recall. The new chief, born John Kojo Yeboah Jemfi, will be giving a stool name after he has been taken through all the necessary traditional customary rites, including a 40-day confinement. He's going to be confined for 40 days. Now, the 51-year-old Odishia Kojo Jemfi was unanimously endorsed by the kingmakers of the traditional area when he was presented by his family. So no qualms, everything gone through. And when you go on 3news.com, NDC's Dela Kofi detained. This was a story that was making the rounds very heavily on social media yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it started last week.
The NDC, some people have also disowned him. They say he's not a member of the party because, according to them, he has been in bed with the MPP for so long.
I see.
National Democratic Congress communicator Dela Edem Kofi has been detained. The detention was announced by the Office of Special Prosecutor on Monday, June 6th, 2022. Update: Dela Kofi detained. You know, the special prosecutor is also making use of social media. He's been tweeting, or whoever has been handling the account. So this Dela Kofi detainment was actually announced first on Twitter by the Office of Special Prosecutor verified account.
Yes.
So then we had to make calls to really, confirm that it was indeed the case. Dela Kofi was arrested after reporting to the Special Prosecutor's Office on Monday. His arrest was also announced by the Office of Special Prosecutor in a press release later. The OB in the release said that the suspect turned himself in with his lawyers and was subsequently arrested. And why has he been arrested, you would ask? The OSP in a notice on Friday, June 3, declared the communicator wanted. Per the notice, Dela Kofi was charged with corruption and corruption-related offenses and forgery of official document. Forgery. So that's what's happening. Subsequently, the suspect responded to the special prosecutor for issuing a warrant of arrest for him. So that's the case with Dela Kofi. Guess what? 365,000 CDs inappropriate for part-time Council of State work. Toby Afede clarifies rejection of the S. Gracia. You know, Toby Afede rejected the S. Gracia. Paramount Chief and the Agbomefia of the Asogli State, Toby Afede, the 14th, says he rejected over 365,000 cedis ex gratia paid to him for serving on the Council of State between 2017 and 2020. According to him, it is inappropriate to receive the said amount when he already took monthly salary. As a member of the Council of State, he was taking monthly salary for serving on the council. What did they do?
I don't even know.
He provided these clarifications after members of the public reacted to news of whether or not he indeed followed through with his supposed refund and the rationale behind it. In a press statement on Monday, the traditional leader explained that I don't think the payment was made to trap me, as is being speculated. Other members of the Council of State took the money. In addition to their monthly salary. What did they do?
Well, they're the Council of State.
And
the president.
No, the president is not bound.
No, he's not.
By their advice. No, he can either choose to take it or not.
It's his prerogative.
So why are we paying them?
Yeah, because constitutionally they are meant to be there. So they are there.
People have questioned the relevance of the Council of State.
Yes.
And they've been given V8s and
drivers
and rent allowance and things.
Security and all of it.
Charlie. And they give them ex gratia too. And monthly allowance.
They're like parliamentarians.
Monthly salary.
But without the work.
Wow. Anyway, intensify COVID-19 vaccination again. Ghana Medical Association urges amid surge in cases. Yesterday, we spent some time with Dr. Franklin Esiedu Bekoye on this matter, and he agrees with that's the Ghana Medical Association
They're
on this
actually
matter.
having a presser today.
Super.
Yeah, to put it out there,
Great
make
stuff.
it even more concrete. Yeah.
Great stuff. Disregard publications on release of Achimota lands to Charles Owusu, Lands Ministry. Why should we disregard? It's in Sir John's will. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has urged the general public to treat as false. Yeah, you know, Charles Owusu was the special assistant of the late Sir John.
Yes.
They were quite close. Charles Owusu was actually a member of the PPP, Progressive People's Party, and then he cross-carpet to the NPP. Before the 2016 elections.
Blink about that.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
there you go. There you go. He says,
if you want to talk about that, call up Freddie Blay. He'll explain to you how it's done.
You got me.
How it's done properly.
Oh Lord. Well, the ministry in a statement on Monday said the document purporting to suggest that Lands Commission has released portions of the Achimota Forest lands does not relate to the Achimota Forest. So Occupy Ghana is also requesting information on all released public lands from the Lands Commission. They want to know all the public lands that have been released over time. And National Cathedral, 32 million CDs payment to Ajayi, legal. Guess who's saying this?
Who?
John Kuma. He said it was a legal payment.
John Kumade, we are tired of him this time.
Oh, you are tired already?
He should just calm down and stop talking, because, I mean, the more he talks, the more he infuriates several members of the Ghanaian public. I don't know. I think they need another communicator to put this message across, because if it's John Kumade, we've had it.
You don't read.
He said we don't read. He said...
But you do read. John Kuma says you don't read. Charlie, what do you have in there?
Well, I have the Metro Lens newspaper, and the big story on the front page. Critics exposed as World Bank vindicates Education Minister.
Really?
Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum.
What's happening? He
came into the news with this gallop business, and the story is on page 4. We'll quickly look at it.
Wow.
George is already here, so we have to rush through this one before George can have his time on the business news. Now, the attempt of critics to impugn the hard-earned reputation of a public office holder, has been whittled down, as the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, has been congratulated by the World Bank for the ministry's ability to facilitate the execution of a project meant to train over 40,000 teachers under the Ghana Education Service in digital literacy. Now, Dr. Duchum indicated the World Bank employed the services of its local development partners to ascertain the veracity of the ministry's claim of training 43,988 teachers, which were verified after the bank had disbursed a $1.2 million grant. Now, I've told you, so he added the grant the ministry received to facilitate the training of teachers on a platform called the Ghana Accountability for Learning Outcomes Project Gallop in Digital Literacy was sitting in the ministry's account. So, this issue came up last week, and, George is already taking over from us. Oh, Alfred. Okay. We'll look at this one when we come back. Good morning, George.
Fellow Cuckoo died. You know you are my team, so all the time you need to give my slot.
George, we need to be careful.
Yeah, before you do that. Yeah, that's my boss.
That's our joke.
Well, it's time for business here on The Money Show.